And then we move on to the pre-order situation, which I don't know how you want to do this. I can just kind of roll into my grumblings, or we can talk about what happened.
Well, I think they're kind of one and the same.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely a grumbling fiasco. So
Yeah.
here's what happened. Like for folks that don't know, PlayStation apparently at the end of the show, more or less in not a great way, communicated through social, I believe. I don't think they even did it on the showcase, that they were going to start the pre-orders the following day. So that was the 17th, I think. Yeah, I think it was the 17th.
Right.
And that didn't go well. And the reason why is because I guess all these big box retailers decided to open up the floodgates the same night, pretty much right after the show, and even like snarkily tweeted about it too. Like I saw some, like Walmart was like, why wait when you could just do it now? Let's go, or something like that. And I was like, well, shit. And I remember going to bed because I was pretty tired at one point, and I think I was on Discord on my phone, which was unusual. Like I think I actually installed the app, and I was reading some stuff, and it sounded like a mess. Like I was reading that Joe tried to get one, and there was like checkout issues and all this crap. And I was like, you know what? This sounds like a disaster. I'm just going to wait till tomorrow. And I guess you could say it's a good thing that I didn't pull the trigger the night before because of the mess. But at the same time, I feel like I did miss out because the following day was even worse. Like you couldn't find anything. And here I was just thinking I could just casually go on Amazon and pre-order one. And it was just, everything was gone. Everything.
Yeah.
People got really lucky the night before and just somehow got their way in, but it was still a mess. It was not seamless. People were having cart issues, sites freezing, because apparently when the word got out, everybody and their mom decided to do it. And I was pretty salty about the next day because I really wanted to get it. And there was another release window that I think happened that night. I think it was at, 6 o'clock that somebody sent me a link for Walmart.
Yeah,
And,
no, it was around 9 p.m. that one went live.
Yeah, and I remember I tuned in for that. I did the whole thing where I was like, okay, like let me get the site ready. Let me make sure I'm on 10 minutes before, and I'm going to be just, finger on the refresh button, ready to go. Yeah. And that didn't work because when I was on Walmart.com, they sold out in I think 1 minute or less, because there were articles and tweets and stuff that were coming out immediately after, probably maybe 10 minutes later, saying for anybody that tried for Walmart's second go at this, unless you had 30 seconds to get one, you're done. Yep. So from what I understand, there were bots involved. People were using bots. I don't really understand how that works, but I guess I do to an extent. And then the rest of it was just sheer luck. Yeah. So to cap this off, basically Sony came out, I want to say the following day or maybe a couple days after, saying, okay, we apologize. They actually sent out pretty much a formal apology on social and just said, hey, we're going to try this properly. It didn't go as we expected, and we're hoping that we're going to get a good amount of waves of pre-orders to happen again before release. And then on release, we're hoping that people will be able to acquire the system fairly easily.
I remember sitting on Walmart's website at 9 p.m., the night after the fiasco, when those systems were supposed to go live. And when I went on the page, originally it said not yet available, and I kept refreshing, and it would say not yet available, not yet available, not yet available, sold out.
Mm-hmm.
There was never an in-between.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, too, that when I was on Walmart, as soon as they went live, I did have a chance to actually hit the button pre-order. It was a blue button, but anytime I hit it, it would just load. You would see, in your browser, I use Chrome, the little thing was just spinning on the top left.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not a good sign. This is not, because at that point, as an internet browser such as myself or anybody that's used to how the internet works, if that happens, it's usually not good. That means that it's struggling to load because everybody else is doing it. And the last thing you want to do is try and stop and refresh or go back in. Because once you're in, that's usually it. Sometimes if you close out and you try to get back in, forget about it. You can't even get the site to load. So
Yeah.
I was in this position where I was fearful of what to do. And eventually I was like, fuck this. So I hit the stop button to stop it from refreshing. I refreshed it. It absolutely made it worse. So at that point I was just getting mad, and I'm like, all right, like this isn't going to work. And then eventually I think I closed out the browser, reloaded it, went back to the Walmart.com, and sure enough, they were just completely gone. And I was like, all right, like I'm just going to try again, I guess, tomorrow. And then I didn't, and I haven't tried since. So I think my position now is I'm going to wait until there's like an official announcement from like retailers or Sony where I can just buy this thing properly. Because
I really, really hope that tomorrow when the Xbox goes on sale that I don't have any of these types of issues, because it's just absurd.
it is absurd. And I think, for somebody like me and most people, I guess, no one really shops like this. I don't think I've ever pre-ordered anything in this fashion ever in my life. And it made me actually kind of concerned about how we consume products, because I was like, damn, man, like people are just absolutely crazy about this right now. And like, I get it. Like, it's exciting. We all want one. But like, if this is happening, then you've got people out there, man, that are just like rabid to just consume something. And it just made me think for a second, like, you know what? This can't be that healthy to just like be like,
it's not.
Chug like a monster and then get ready at like, 8:58 because like you're getting ready for a pre-order. That just doesn't sound right. Especially when you're dropping $400 or $500 on something.
But
So.
I mean, the reality is most of the sales are going to bots. They have these bots that run on computers that just scrape websites looking for inventory. And as soon as they have it, they have the whole checkout process like basically saved into their cache so they can check out and put their card information in and get the product sent out to them before you could even click add to cart.
Yeah,
you're not playing a fair game, and then they're going to turn around and try to scalp them for twice the price.
Oh, dude, that's disgusting, man. Like, I think I ended up going on eBay after Dave said something, and I was like, I gotta see this, because he read or he shared something about how some guy got ripped off for some insane amount. It was like a cardboard PS5 or some shit, and I went on, and there was just like $700, $1,000, $25,000, and I was like, this is outrageous. Who in their right mind could do that? I'm this guy that I used to mention earlier on the show, Retro and Rare. He used to get really like upset about that on his podcast. He'd be like, fucking scumbag resellers, man. And I still think about when he said that, because that's exactly what they are. You're a scumbag. If you're going to take a pre-order and then charge somebody like double the price, like F you, man. Like that, now you're just like playing into the whole game of like how disgusting consumerism can be.
It's terrible, man. It
really
really
is. Because they know that they can make a buck, and they're probably going to make it because they're preying on the people that are like a little bit naive to certain things in life and are going to be like, I want it, and I don't care how much I need to pay for it. I want it. And I want it is going to only get you so far in life. So those, what was that? It was Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka, right? That was like, I want it and I want it now. Like, I forget what it was that she was referring to, but it was, what was that? Yeah, she's like, I want my golden goose and I want it now.
Yep.
That's kind of what this became. And, when you sit there as like a responsible adult and you try to pre-order something properly and you can't help but go into that sort of cynical mindset where you're like, man, people are fucking animals. And then you just go to bed with your fucking fake candles and Netflix, and you're like, fuck this. God damn it. I work a living. I pay my bills on time. I drink coconut water. I want a fucking PS5. I don't run bots to buy shit,